Hello and welcome to This Board Game Life. My name is Mark and I am here today to do a missed month in review. I realized last night I was thinking about it and like, hey, I never did a month in review in January, and then looked back and didn't do my December 2025 month in review. So today I'm going to be getting my December out of the way and talk about some of the stuff that I played back in December of 2025. And before we get started, if you'd be so kind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, absolutely free, and hit that bell icon so you will not miss new content drops like my January month in review. All right, so we're going to jump right into it and go down the list of what I played. So started out the month of December with playing a huge game from Awakened Realms. This is Grim Coven, and I absolutely love this game. This is a huge cooperative boss battler. Cooperative, but there are elements of the game as you upgrade or level up, or you take on more of the lament, which has like made all these boss creatures like evil, right? You end up taking some lament on, which kind of causes you to get more corruption, and at certain points in the game can impact your cooperative players. You can end up doing damage to them because you're starting to become corrupt throughout the game as you get more and more powerful. So, and it's a really neat balance. You really kind of need that to defeat the monsters, the bosses and stuff like that. The bosses are tough. The minions are not so tough, but they can be overwhelming. And it's a really cool game. Really love this game. It's a beautiful production. Of course, it's from Awakened Realms. It's a huge table presence, a lot of miniatures. There's a lot going on. There's just a tremendous amount of content in this box, and it's something that you will come back to time and time again. And it's so much replayability in this box. It's simply amazing. The next game I played is Ark Nova. This is, again, a very popular game about building your zoo, trying to have the best zoo. And I classify this as a heavy game. I don't know if it's classified as a heavy game on BGG, but it's definitely medium to heavy. At least in my book, but I classify it as heavy. Let's take a quick look and see. 3.79. It's almost a 4. So that is on the harder side, heavier side, if you will. But Ark Nova is a fantastic game. I love playing this game and trying to figure out which cards to take, which animals do I want to get, which things do I want to put in my zoos, having the enclosures so that you can put the animals out. And there's just a lot going on in this game, and it's a lot of fun. I love that you can get the ability of, like, when someone else builds a predator or something, or in their zoo, you can gain something. So there's certain aspects of the game that allow you to do that, and it's really cool. So you're constantly not only watching what you're doing, but you're watching what other people are doing to see if you're going to benefit from it. All right, next is 20 Strong Tanglewoods Red. The 20 Strong system has been out for a while now, and the Tanglewoods, they've got a red, white, and a gold that they have just recently released this year in 2025. And I did get the red one played, and they're tough. These games are tough. You're managing using these set amount of dice that you have for all the games that are in the 20 Strong. You're using the same set of dice, but the rules will change based on the game. It's a pretty cool little system, but you're managing the dice and which ones are you going to use, and then you lose them, and then you're trying to get them back and to survive the whole game. It can be very challenging. But the red, they've changed it up the way this one works compared to the other games, and I really like that about the 20 Strong system. Is each deck of cards, each little game that comes in the system, it does play different. All right, next I got to play Rats of Wistar, and this was the first time I have played this one, and I got to look this one up real quick because I'm drawing a blank on who designed this game. Oh yeah, Simon Luciani. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that, but also Danilo Sabia designed this particular game. And this is interesting. This was a lot of fun. I did like this game. And this is, you are rats exploring a house, trying to expand your lair, and you going into different parts of the house, and you can get more materials. And there's also like an action selection where you're placing, your workers out on a certain part of the board, and the more that you have there impacts like the strength of that action, if I recall. But I had a lot of fun with it. It's something I really want to play again. And I got a friend who has it, so I'll probably be asking him to bring it to game night sometime here in the near future. But that's Rats of Wistar. Next, played The Gang. This is that cooperative poker game. It's a lot of fun. It's been a big hit, and I know they've got a newer release that has come out recently or is about to come out. Plays up to 10 players. I don't know if I'd like the game with that many people. I think it's already can be pretty tough, and adding up to 10 players just seems crazy. But if you want a game that can play a lot of players cooperatively, there's a new version of The Gang out, so you can check that out. Got to play Bomb Busters. So I played this a while back and with a group, and we got through like the training missions, and we finally got in December, got a chance to get back together to play some more missions. It's really fun. I really do enjoy this game. It is a brain burner type of thing for me because I'm very slow at thinking of things. Like when it comes to deduction, this is a deduction game designed by Hisashi Hayashi. Oh, I'm terrible with pronouncing names. It's a low to medium weight game. It's not, but it's more of a deduction. You're trying to figure out what people have. You don't want to cut the certain wires. You're trying to, disarm the bomb. And I tend to be a little slower with deduction games. I don't just get things right away, and I'm going to claim that's my age. So, but this is a really fun game, and I look forward to playing it some more this year, and hopefully getting through all the scenarios and just seeing what this game continues to add new things into the game as you go. All right, next was Lightning Train, and this is a game that did make my top 10 of 2025, but I had only played like part of the game in 2025, and then I think I had recorded our top 10 prior to me getting to play this again. So the first time I played it, we only got to play like half the game. I was really interested in. I was liking it, so it made my list. But when I went back and played it a second time and got to play the entire game all the way through, I had a different opinion of it. And had I played it all the way through, or had been able to make my list after I had played it a second time, Lightning Train would not have been on my top 10 list of 2025. It would have been replaced by something else. And there's something about the game. It's right there in the middle of a medium weight game, but I feel like it scores way too slow. You're constantly just trying to move across the country. And I think like this game will feel too much the same every time you play it. And I wonder, can you actually ever create the what is it, the not the Continental, but there's the something about the railroad going across from like New York to San Francisco or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. It might be listed in here, but it didn't work for me, and I don't know. So my thoughts of this have definitely dropped off after getting to play it all the way through. But we did play it, and now this one's up for sale. So I'm going to be selling this one. Excuse me. Next is ISS Vanguard. Again, I've continued to play this for the last couple of months, and we haven't played it for quite a while, and we didn't play it at all in January. I know we are really close to being the end. The group might have got to finish it because we were really close, and I was out and busy through the holidays, and So I don't know if my group got together. I need to ask. I'm like, hey, did you guys finish it? But yeah, it's an interesting game. ISS Vanguard again is one that has I love Awakened Realms. It is from them, but it's my least favorite game. It's one that I would sell if someone wanted to pay for it. I've played it like one time, and then when I've played the campaign, I played with someone else's. So I got a brand new game with a couple of the expansions, and it's like, oof, paid a lot of money for a game I'm not gonna play again. And if I play it, it'll be someone else's copy. So, but it's a lot of story, and if you like story and exploration, then it's a fantastic game. It's just for me, it was a little too slow. I like a lot more action. I like more like Grim Coven. You're battling, you're fighting. That's kind of more of my style of game as opposed to more very story driven, which ISS Vanguard is. All right, next is Mechs versus Minions. I got introduced to this game in December from a friend, and I ended up going out and finding a copy thanks to BGG and people out there offering stuff up for sale. And I got it for a great price, and it was in fantastic condition. And I absolutely love Mechs versus Minions. It's a great little game that this is one that is a programming game, so you're drafting cards, you're putting them into like 6 slots on your board, and it's like you're placing them, and then it's your turn to move your character. You go down left to right doing those things that you've programmed to do, and you're just taking a wild guess, trying to get some abilities. You never know necessarily where your character might end up. You could get bumped, something could happen. Maybe you're facing the wrong way, and then boom, you're going to shoot at nothing. So it's a really cool game, very well done, lots of just chaotic action, and I love it. All right, next is Mad Kala, and this is, if you're familiar with the uh, Wonderland's War. Okay, this is in that same Wonderland's War, designed by Aaron Hine and Manny Tremblay. This is the Mancala game based on Wonderland's War, so it's called Mad Kala, and this is a lot of fun. You do get some asymmetric abilities based on your characters, and in it again, you're kind of moving wherever you move, you grab the little beads or whatever, and you're moving them around just like in a Mancala, but there's different abilities that you'll take at different spots, and it's a really cool game, very high quality production of this game, and it's a lot of fun. It is a 2-player only game, so keep that in mind, but it does play quick at 15-30 minutes. And it's a beautiful, beautiful game. If you've seen Wonderland's War, you know what you're going to see in this. All right, next is Flamecraft Duels. And if you have played Flamecraft, this is not a 2-player version of Flamecraft. Yes, it looks the same. It's got the same the artwork by Sindera Tang, and it is the same look, same world, but this is a 2-player game, but it is a like match 3 game. You get these little like tiles that you get a box. The game comes in this cool little box, and it opens, right? Well, obviously box is open, but this is like a little suitcase, has a little latch on it, and then it flops out, and then you have the board, and then you can lift each side of the board to get to the components, the cards, and the bag with all the little like acrylic tiles or Bakelite tiles, whatever they are, in there, and you place them on the playing board that is the box. And you're just sitting across from someone. You draw these cards, and it will have basically pattern matching, and it is a match 3 essentially. You are trying to match 3 of the same, or in a row, or maybe in a triangle shape, and you're trying to get placing a piece at a time out on the board, going back and forth. And once you have a pattern, then you get to turn the card in to get those points, right? So, and then draw another card and see what new pattern you get. It's an excellent game. Again, it's a 1 to 2 player game, and it does play in 30 to 45 minutes. It's a light to medium weight. I classify this on the light end. It's very easy to learn, very easy to pick up, designed by Manny Vega, and it is a fantastic game. So if you didn't like Flamecraft, do not overlook Flamecraft Duels. They are very different games. So if you're looking for something for 2-player, I highly recommend Flamecraft Duels. All right. Next is Gems of Iridicia. Yeah, sure. Iridicia, something like that. And I can't even type Gems of Iridicia. So this game came out again in 2025. This is a really fun game where you are working your way up. All the players have their little meeples at the bottom of the board, and you start working your way up, kind of mining for things. You can move to 2 different spaces. You like flip the tokens over, see which resource you're going to get. And then you can go there, and then you can like mine for that resource again to get more. There's a marketplace where you can buy stuff. You can get gold and things to buy these different ability cards and things like that. And you work your way all the way to the top, and you were trying to basically score as many points as you want. That you can. The really cool part about this game is the gems that you're mining. There's a market, and every time you mine for something, then you are basically getting those at a certain value, but now it goes up. So the next time it's going to be worth more, so you can cash them in later when they're worth more. But once they get up to 6, if someone mines it again, it crashes that market down to a 1. So if you've got a bunch of that particular type of gem, you might want to cash them in before the market crashes to a 1, because that can hurt you. It's a really fun game, a beautiful looking game. This is from Rock, Stone, and Dice Games, designed by Robert Panetta. Again, that was Gems of Iridicia. All right, next was Pandemic Legacy Season 2. My little group has started on this one, and we did complete Pandemic Legacy Season 1 and Season 2. Oh my goodness, this thing's starting out. I mean, boom, out the gate. This thing is brutal. And we have not had a chance to play it again in in January. But we're hoping to get back together here this month to continue to try to get our Pandemic Legacy game complete for Season 2, so we can go on to Season 0. But the Pandemic Legacy games are fantastic. This does take place after the events of Season 1. You don't necessarily need to have played Season 1, but I would recommend to play them as Season 1, Season 2, and then Season 0. Timeline-wise, you would play 0, 1, and 2 based on the timeline. They were released 1, 2, and then 0 was a prequel. So, but other stories are different. They are intertwined. At least 2 is, and I know kind of the basis of 0 is going back prior to the first game. So the story's kind of intertwined, and it's been really kind of cool to see what has changed from Season 1 to Season 2. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this game goes. All right, next I did finally get to play some Quacks of Quedlinburg. This game is something that is one of my all-time favorites, and you are pulling chits out of a bag, you're placing them in your pot. You don't want your pot to explode as you're trying to brew up these potions. At the end of every round, you get the ability to buy more chits that you can put into your bag to try to lessen the possibilities of pulling out a cherry bomb, because if you get too many of those, your pot explodes and you are limited on what you can do at the end of the round. So the Quacks of Quedlinburg is awesome. This is also known as Quacks. They did a re-theming of it in 2025 for the US market. I do not like the new artwork or the look of the version called Quacks. I do prefer my original Quacks of Quedlinburg. But either way, they're both the same game, just a little different artwork. But yeah, played that. All right, next is Super Mega Lucky Box. Whew. Might need to take a breather here real quick. Super Mega Lucky Box is a flip and write bingo style game where you can chain things. So as you got I think it's a grid of 3x3 with random numbers on your cards, and you'll have like 3 cards in front of you. And as a card comes out, so maybe 2, right? They'll have numbers from like 1 to 9. and you have like 18 cards in the deck, but you remove half of them. So you don't know what numbers are going to come up. And so as they come up, you're going to mark it off on your card. And once you get like a complete row or a complete column, then you get the bonuses attached to those ends. And then you can start kind of making little chains. It's a lot of fun, very easy to learn and very easy to score. And it's a lot of fun. All right. Next is Shadow Hunters. So I talked earlier about how I'm not really good at deduction games. And this one, I think I do okay with it. I still struggle sometimes, and but I really enjoy Shadow Hunters. It plays 4 to 8 people in about 60 minutes, and you've got teams. So, if you've got 8 people in the game, you're gonna have probably, well, I don't know, I don't know how many you'll have, but if there's 6 players, we've played with 6 where we have like 2 hunters, 2 what are they called? I want to call them demons, shadow creatures. There's also neutrals. So you're going to have like, 2 shadows, 2 hunters, 2 neutrals. The hunters will always win as long as the shadows are killed. The shadow creatures will win if the hunters are killed. The neutrals, it can depend. Their win goal will change. So you don't know who anybody is, and you got to try to figure out who is on your team, and everyone's got a card character that's hidden, and you're trying to figure things out by getting some information. And it's just a fantastic game that I really do enjoy. Shadow Hunters, it's extremely hard to find. It is out of print, and it is very expensive on the secondhand market. But if you like deduction games, I definitely would recommend checking out Shadow Hunters. All right, next. Oh, this is Puerto Rico 1897 Special Edition. This is another Awakened Realms treatment to a classic game. This is beautiful. Yes, it's a big box. It's overproduced. It's not, do you need this for a game like Puerto Rico, which comes in a smallish to medium-sized box? No. But is it absolutely gorgeous? Yes. And this special edition, I have done an unboxing. I have done a review for this. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out on the channel. This is absolutely the best, most beautiful, best thought out organization of a large boxed game that I have ever seen. They did their homework, and I absolutely love it. It's very easy to table despite the large size by the way they have organized and set this game up. It is phenomenal, and it is beautiful to look at on the table. Again, Puerto Rico 1897 special edition from Awakened Realms, designed by Andreas Seyfarth and art by Jacob Zakowski. All right, so now we're on to everybody's favorite game of last year and the year prior, right around the holidays, was Flip 7. I did play Flip 7. I also got to play Flip 7. Well, I think this was the Grinch edition we actually played. So I bought my whole family a copy of the Grinch edition, including myself, and everyone was really happy to have it. It's the exact same game, but it has Christmas Grinch artwork on it, and it's really nice artwork. It looks really good, and you can play it year round. Doesn't matter that it's the Grinch. But yeah, Flip 7 was a fantastic game. Next, I played Big Sur. This game is from 25th Century Games. This came out again in 2025. Plays 2 to 4 players, 15 to 30 minutes. It's actually a really quick card game where you're placing cards out, basically to like you're building out the Pacific Coast Highway, and there's this is a real highway running through California, and there are landmarks, and you can place these real landmarks in your road to score different things. So there's these little ways to put your cards out and match your sceneries, and you're trying to get similar card types together, and then if you have certain things, you can put a landmark on there to boost the points. And various things like that. And you will use your cards to pay for cards that you want to play, because your cards will have resources on them. So you'll have to pay those cards to use the resources to pay. You have to pay with cards to play the cards you want. So there you go. All right. Next is San Juan 1897 Special Edition. Now, this is a card game. This is again, the Awakened Realms Special Edition. I got this with Puerto Rico. This essentially is Puerto Rico, the card game. So you're still kind of doing things. It'll change up a little bit, obviously, because it's just cards. Again, this is another card game that you will have to pay with cards to play the cards you want. So when you got a hand of cards, you gotta figure out which ones am I going to get. Okay, I want these to play, so I have to get rid of the others to pay for those, which is very interesting. A mechanic. I'm surprised I got 2 games in December that had that same kind of mechanic. But you can trade. You still have that feeling and of Puerto Rico, but like simplified, into a card game, and it's really good. All right, next is Echoes of Time. This is you are managing this timeline that will continue to shift, and you'll put cards out on this timeline, and once they come off to the far right of your timeline, they go up on the top of your timeline. That's your fellowship, and there's a lot of things going on with each of these cards. Essentially, you're trying to get enough troop power to control some cards that are sitting in the middle and will offer benefits. So you might have enough to take, what do they call it? You can basically take control of it, but you haven't like secured it. Those aren't the exact words used in the game. I'm trying to remember what they call, but you are trying to secure those. And so you can basically get control of it with certain troop powers. And once you use those troops to gain control of that, you lose the other abilities on those cards. You use those to gain that item or that I forgot what they're called, but you gain that particular ability, the abilities that go on that card. But there's also a secure amount of army units that you need to secure it so that it can't be taken. So if your opponent can actually get enough troops out there, they can take it from you if you have not yet secured it with enough troops. So it's a really neat back and forth. People might have, there's like a different, I think they call them scenes, but, and I'm probably wrong on that. Oh, a source. I think they're called sources. So you have these sources, and you put one out for each player. So, and you could all be going for different things, but some people might be fighting over the same source. So, do you get rid of your abilities to secure it? When do you do that? Your manager timeline. It's a really fun game, really beautiful artwork, a lot going on in this multi-use card system. This game is designed by Simon Luciani and Roberto Pelle, and the art's by Giovanni Calor. All right. So the rest of these, I think most of these I'm going to rip through. I think we talked about them before. I played Botswana. This is the newer Reiner Knizia reprint from that 25th Century Games did. So it's a quick playing card game, very easy to learn, but you are basically playing cards out to dictate the strength or the value or the victory point worth of certain animals. And then you're also drafting animals. So, if you are drafting a bunch of giraffes and someone crashes that market, then those are going to could be worthless. They could be worth 0 points each. Or if you played your cards right, maybe they're going to be worth 5 points each for every giraffe that you have. So there's some good market manipulation and things like that. And next, I played Don't Llama, very quick card game. It's a lot of fun. You're just getting rid of your cards and trying to end each round with no cards in your hand. And for every you will score. You'll get like 10 points if you have a llama in your hand, and the other cards valued 1 to 6, I believe. You will, for all the sixes you have in your, you'll just score 6 points. You could have 3 sixes in your hand. You're gonna take 6 points, or you could have 1 6 and still 6 points. So each individual card that's not identical scores against you, and the first person to get to 40 points, that ends the game, and they lose, and it's whoever has the least score wins the game. So, and the cool thing is if you have, say you got 20 points and you play all your cards out and you actually go out, you get to take one of those chips and put it back. So now you can be, I'm at 10. So it's pretty cool, very powerful if you can go all the way out when you're got a lot of points against you. All right. Next was a game called, mine wasn't called Cluster, but this is what BGG calls it. I found it under a different name. And this one is basically, you've got this string and you've got these magnets, and everybody's got so many magnets, and you're trying to place them in this specific zone and making sure that they don't attract powerful magnets too. So like if you get too close, it's going to suck a magnet up, or it might suck a couple of them. And if that happens, you have to take all the magnets that just got sucked up. The goal is to get rid of all your magnets without that happening. And as people, to start, it's easy. There's a lot of room. But as everyone's starting to put their magnets in, it gets tougher and harder to find, how am I placing it? Where am I placing it? Which side is this magnet facing as you're putting it down? So it's a lot of fun, very easy, good family game. All right, next I played Alibis. This is from All Play Games. It was released in 2025. And this, to me, it's a cooperative word association, and you're trying to let everybody know who your alibi is so you can find out who is the villain. So you're going to have all these villains out in front of you, very much like code names. There's words. And so I'm going to end up with like 2 alibis out there, and they're going to have different names on them, different words. And I got to figure out how to, with a word, let my team know that I got to say one word, and it somehow correlates between the 2 guys that I've got and not pointing to anything else. And we're trying to figure out, I'll say, hey, here's my word. And everyone else is going to figure out, okay, I think your alibis are these and these, and they're marking them off. And we're all trying to get down to, okay, who's left? And then that's like your super villain. And you're scoring points based on, how, if people were correct with the alibis, and you get points for the supervillain if you're detecting them. And at the start of the game, you have all this heat on you, and you're removing the heat. Basically, when you score these points, that's how much heat's coming off of you, and you're trying to get rid of all of it. So if you like code names, this is a twist on that, and it is a lot of fun. 2 to 6 players, plays in about 20 minutes. All right, next for Christmas, my kids got me OK Boomer. This is a trivia game, came out in 2020. This is a game that is like old school versus new school trivia. And my kids thought it was going to be fun. They thought they were going to just destroy myself and my mother, and they were wrong. And then they were complaining about, well, that's not fair, because like the questions that they get asked are things that happened like in my mother's and my eras, which was way before they were alive. And the things that their questions are asking us older, us old school, are things that still have happened in our lifetime, but they're more pop culture, newer things that we normally probably wouldn't be paying attention to. And my kids were surprised by how much I actually knew. Well, it's because I was paying attention to my kids growing up, and most of those questions were like, oh, my kids, I knew this because of my kids. So yeah, it was a slaughter. But so if you're older and you want to show your kids up, get OK Boomer and show them who's the boss. All right. Another game that's a lot of fun to play is Just One. This is a fun little party game where everyone is working cooperatively. One person is blindly picking out a word on a card that it's like 1 to 5 or something. They'll pick a number. Everyone else can see the word, not the person picking, and they got it might say something like vampire. Okay. Everyone else has to write something on their dry erase board that is just one word. And you can't, if anybody matches, then those go out. And then whatever hasn't matched is available for that person trying to guess. And I'll tell you what, man, if too many people are picking the most obvious, if everyone else is Dracula, they all come out. There's no clue, and that person has to guess the word with no clue. So, or if you've got a group of, I don't know, what does this play up to? It says 7 players. If you had 7 players, one person's guessing, that gives you 6 people writing clues. If 2 of them match, you're down to 4 clues. If 3 of them match, then you're down to 3. So the more that people match on their words or clues that they're trying to give, the harder, the more likely you're going to match and take those guesses out, those clues out for the guesser. It's a lot of fun. So that's just one. All right. So the next game, I mentioned before that I had played Arc Nova. Well, they have released a game called Sanctuary. It is an Arc Nova game. And Sanctuary originally, I love Arc Nova. I think it's a fantastic game. But I don't like the way it scores. It is a very long game. There's a lot going on. It is a heavy game. But I'm like, I love it so much. Why would I pick up Sanctuary? It's like a streamlined version of Arc Nova is essentially what it is. And it plays so well. I actually enjoy Sanctuary more than I do Arc Nova. I find it's easier to table. It plays a lot quicker, and it's a medium weight. They've done a great job. I still feel I'm building my zoo. The tiles are bigger, and I just like the things that they have done to kind of streamline, to still kind of give you that feel. They've taken a lot of stuff out. They have to. It's been streamlined, but it doesn't mean it's been dumbed down. It absolutely has not been dumbed down. There is still a lot to figure out and strategize and trying to determine how am I going to make this happen. And you might be putting an animal out and then all of a sudden lose spaces because you have to have open space. So this game does introduce some new items that are not in Arc Nova, but removes things. And scoring is more traditional. You will score no matter, at the end of the game, you're not going to end up with minus points or 1 point or something after spending 3 to 4 hours playing a game. You will end up with points. And I like that. I think that's my most disappointing thing with Arc Nova is their weird scoring system. At the end of 3 hours, you could be in a negative points or 0 points. It's like, I know it's relative and it's just the way that game scores, but to me, it always feels like you didn't get anything done after 3 hours. Here you're going to play max an hour and a half and you're going to have points. You're going to walk away with points. I like that. But Sanctuary is a fantastic game, designed by Matthias Wig, and do not overlook this. If you like Arc Nova, again, if you really like heavyweight games, then you can probably skip this. If you want to play Arc Nova and you're like, oh man, that's too heavy for me, get Sanctuary. This is a much easier game. And I feel like someone new that wants to play some heavier weight stuff could learn this and then move on to Arc Nova because it introduces things. You get an idea of how a lot of the things in Arc Nova will work. And then you can just take on the additional stuff that Arc Nova would have. So Sanctuary, fantastic game. All right. Next, I played Tacta. This is just a quick little card game about laying cards in a certain way out and trying to keep your points visible, and while you're trying to take out your opponent's points. Also played Flip Tunes. Talked about this before. When I played it again in December, I came to the conclusion. Not a fan of the game. I love the artwork. Absolutely love the artwork. The reason I'm not a fan of the game is you really have no control over the game. You can draft cards that are available to you on your turn, but then everything gets shuffled up and you're just playing cards out. You don't have a way to even stack them in your deck to come out a certain way. You don't know what's going to come out. You could have something really good and it get wiped out because of the way it came out. I don't like games like that. That was my biggest thing with Challengers. It came out a couple years ago, and I just didn't like that there was just absolutely no control over the game. So that's Fliptoons. But the artwork is amazing. All right, 2 more games for December, and then we're going to be out of here. I did play Awkward Guests, the Walton case. I have talked about this before. This is Clue for the adult gamers. All right, this is, I grew up with games like Clue. This is Clue to the next level. This is, not your child's version of Clue. This is not something you play with kids, and it's not. When I say adult version, I don't mean adult. I don't mean that. I mean a grown-up version. This is going to be more interesting to gamers and that are older and not just kids. So be sure to check out Awkward Guest, the Walton case. And last game that I played for the year 2025 for the very first time in my life, Dominion. I have heard about Dominion. I've heard it so many times. I have looked at it and I'm like, this does not sound interesting. And then on New Year's Eve, a friend of mine brought it over. Him and his wife brought it over. We had a little game night at my house and we played it. I'm like, okay, I get it. And now I own the game with like 3 of the expansions. So Dominion is a fantastic game. And there's so much to it, yet it's very simple gameplay. It's pretty amazing. All right. Well, that concludes my 32 games that I played in December of 2025. Please let me know below in the comments. Did you play any of these? What games did you play? What did you enjoy? Do you want to share your stats? You're welcome to in the comments. Also, again, if you are still here, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I would ask, if you haven't yet, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that bell icon, because I'm going to be doing my January 2026 month in review here in just a minute. And it will release probably the day after this video. So you'll be alerted if you hit that bell icon. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at the table.